Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 51. At the moment, we're waiting for Wolf, the envoy we escorted, to finish talking to the locals back in Sea Dock. So, since we had time to kill, I canvassed the surrounding area and stumbled across this greenskin raider camp. It should make for a nice, quick warm-up fight. And once we're done cleaning out the stronghold, we'll go back and collect Wolf and head back towards Weidemark. Okay, right off the bat we've got 3 orc warriors in sight. Those guys are pretty tough, but at this point we should be able to handle them. We'll start by focusing on the softer targets like the orc young and the orc berserker. Our archers have cut down one of the orc young already, so I can't imagine this fight taking us more than 5, maybe 6 minutes tops. Have Potato knock a little bit of armor off the warriors real quick. And then I think we're cycling into round 2. Okay, Lovasić is up. He sinks an arrow into the orc warrior. And another. That takes out a good third of the orc warrior's armor. We've got an orc young engaged with our line and an orc berserker circling around to the north. Mark focuses fire on another orc warrior, whittling and debuffing, and Alessandro quickly follows his example. Then Potato turns his attention to that berserker on our north, trimming off about half of his armor. Roderick is up. He plunges his dagger into an orc young, then readies his greatsword, cleaving through one of the orc's arteries. Vlad takes a quick step to the side, tearing the rest of the berserker's armor to pieces. Then Igot quickly finishes off the profusely bleeding orc young on our line. Looks like the warriors are hanging back, so Janos moves up to engage them. Unfortunately, he can't get past their shields. Another warrior steps up, tearing through half of Roderick's armor with his brutish weapon. Gilraen carefully moves in to keep the last orc warrior contained. He readies his dagger, but can't get past the warrior's shield. Reinhard moves up to engage the berserker, lands a quick hit with his spear, and lands a second minor hit. Gilraen fends off an attack. Henry moves up. Oh, shoot. Okay, I didn't mean to put him there, but he'll be fine. Igot hops Henry, then lashes out with his dagger, piercing an orc warrior's armor. Rondis hops Roderick, engaging an orc warrior as well. Round 3. Lovasić starts us off, trimming off more orc armor. Alessandro follows up, landing a light hit on the orc's helmet. Mark fires into the orc horde. His first shot tears apart an orc's armor, his second shot pierces its side. Potato moves up, then puts an arrow into a warrior's shield. Henry lashes out with the company banner, trimming off a chunk of an orc's helmet, then he quickly readies his shield. Vlad puts his pike through the berserker's side. Roderick absolutely savages an orc warrior, killing the orc young behind him and shattering the warrior's morale. Igot readies his great axe, but he can't get past his opponent's shield. Rondis sets his sights on the broken orc in front of him, cutting him down with a swing from his legendary greatsword. Then he moves up to engage another warrior. Gilraen whittles away at his foe, breaking the warrior's morale. Reinhard finishes off the berserker on our north, then moves to engage the last active threat on the battlefield. Janos smashes off half the orc's helmet with a swing from his great hammer, then inflicts a light wound with his dagger for good measure. One of the Orc warriors tries to flee, but Gilraen keeps him pinned in place. Our archers start moving up, firing through the ranks to keep the Orcs' heads down. Henry readies the company's banner, then uses it to cut down the second-to-last Orc warrior. Vlad lashes out at the last warrior, tearing the helmet from his head. Igot moves up, readying his dagger, landing another quick hit on the now broken warrior. And now it just becomes a race to see who can land the final killing blow. Rondis cleaves into the warrior with his greatsword, then readies his dagger and cuts the battle short with another quick thrust. Okay, no level ups, but looks like Rondis just barely pulls MVP with 2 kills. And the loot's relatively mediocre. We got some trade goods, we got some orc weapons. We'll grab it all and sell it off once we get the chance. Now let's get back to Sea Dock to... Oh, there's a small group of Orc Young. It's not much of a fight, but we'll see if we can catch up with them. Soon enough, the envoy is back out. He tells you his business is done and that he needs to get back to Count Halston von Ravenhold. What took you so long? Alright, we've picked up Wolf and... Now let's go ahead and take out this group of Orc Young. Okay, so we're up against 8 young Orcs. This shouldn't be a problem. In fact, we may be able to take down several of these guys with our archers alone. Rowan is up. And he starts us off by putting an arrow through an Orc's leg. Our frontliners ready their spears. And the archers are up. Alessandro begins firing into the Orc horde. Wojtek quickly follows up, dropping our first Orc. Then putting an arrow through another Orc's neck. Fox shoots an Orc in the face. And Bunny plants 2 arrows in an Orc's shield. Moving into round 2. The Orcs continue their steady advance. We've got 1 Orc on the line, engaged with Rondis and Oswald. Good luck with that. And our archers are up again. Fox puts an arrow through an Orc's hand, then kills it with a second shot. But none of the other archers have any luck. Woe steps up, impales an Orc's hand with his pike. Rowan takes aim with his crossbow, but can't get past his target's shield. Wojtek plants an arrow through an Orc's kidney. Oswald readies his warbrand, slicing open an Orc's arm, and then cleaving open its midsection with a second blow. Rondis quickly finishes off the badly wounded Orc, then moves up and slices off another Orc's ear. Janos moves up alongside Dominic, and the 2 of them kill another Orc, before Janos steps forward again, plunging his blade into another Orc's leg. Gilraen kills the kidney-shot Orc, then impales another Orc through the side. Reinhard moves around the north, engaging one of the last Orcs, doling out a quick flesh wound with his dagger. And moving into round 3. Our archers are up once again. Alessandro moves up, fires through the ranks, and breaks the last Orc's morale. Bunny moves up and continues to harass another fleeing Orc. Then Wojtek moves up and puts an arrow through the same orc's side. Fox moves up and harasses the last orc. Woe puts one of the fleeing orcs on death's door. Rowan moves up, puts another crossbow bolt into an orc shield. Oswald begins circling the line. Engages one of the fleeing orcs. Dominic engages with another, quickly puts it down with a spear thrust. Rondis hops Dominic, readies his legendary dagger. Impales another orc through the hand. And then Reinhard quickly finishes it off. And Kazarin puts down the last orc. Let's see here, no level ups, and Kazarin pulls MVP. And the loot is about as underwhelming as you would expect. But since we've still got a decent amount of room in our inventory, we'll go ahead and grab everything we can carry. Then we'll see if we can sell it off before we get too far from Sea-Dock. Though, actually, Sea-Dock appears to be under the effects of multiple negative debuffs, so maybe we'll hold on to the orc loot until we get to the next town. We've got a long walk ahead of us, so we'd better get moving. And we're back. We're about halfway back to Weidemark now, but we just stumbled across this collapsed fortress. We don't know what's in there, but given the region, it's probably bandits, maybe Wiedergangers. So I thought we'd pop in real quick and take a look. Okay, well, we definitely just heard a Wiederganger, and we're up against a mob of 24 of them. We may or may not end up sticking around for this fight, but either way, the first thing we want to do is get up onto this elevated terrain here. That will give us a better offensive and defensive position for when the Wiedergangers start coming after us. And I think the big deciding factor on whether or not we end up sticking around is going to be whether or not we see any signs of a necromancer. If it's just Wiedergangers, Geists, and maybe some Noxerer, we should have no problem taking them out. But a necromancer on a map like this with that many Wiedergangers under his control would present us with the kind of scenario we really don't want to get bogged down in. We'd probably still end up winning, but we'd have to wade through dozens and dozens of zombies just to get to that necromancer, and then things would slow down even more once our men started getting thoroughly exhausted halfway through the battle. Well, we haven't heard any spellcasting yet, so that's definitely a good sign. Oh, but we do have a couple of fallen heroes on the board. 4 fallen heroes, okay. That will definitely make for a challenging fight, but on the other hand, if we can take those things down, that will net us some decent top-tier armor and weaponry. We can already see at least 2 great axes and 2 fighting axes, so I think we'll stick around for now and give it a shot, but we'll withdraw if things end up taking a turn for the worst. We'll try to get our front line into positions where they can take full advantage of the elevated terrain. And given the sheer volume of zombies, I'll probably end up aggressively trimming some of the footage out of this battle, just so we don't end up spending too much time watching the zombies slowly shamble towards our line. Alright, archers, it's time to start picking them off. We obviously want to preserve the fallen heroes' equipment if possible, so we'll primarily focus our arrow fire on the armored Wiedergangers instead. There we go. Potato drops our first Wiederganger. And Mark almost drops a second one. We'll do some minor end-of-round maneuvering here, but I think I'm happy where most of our guys are. And moving into round 2. And there's our first zombie resurrection, but fortunately, since there doesn't seem to be a necromancer present, each of these enemies will only be able to reanimate once, and they won't be able to reanimate at all if we can decapitate them or crush their skulls. Looks like Fox just dropped 2 more Wiedergangers. But we're having a bit of a hard time hitting any of the others. There's some minor hits there, trimming off armor and health, and the rest of our line will hold position while we wait for the horde to advance. Alright, the horde is creeping ever closer, and we've already got contact with a fallen hero on our south side. I'd like to preserve fallen hero armor wherever possible, but we will lay out a few real hits here and there, just to be on the safe side. Though it does look like Gilraen and Daigot are already making some pretty good progress with their daggers. Looks like we've got Nazzul on the field. Well, on the bright side, that'll make the battle a little quicker. They're easy to take down, and they might devour some of the zombie corpses before they can reanimate. Now we've got our archers whittling away at the Wiedergangers again. Potato manages to put another one down, at least temporarily. And Mark just dropped another. Henry tears into the fallen hero on our line. And the rest of the Wiedergangers are slowly advancing, so let's skip forward again real quick. Our frontliners are up. Daigot continues to whittle away at the fallen hero, but can't quite finish it off. Man, we've still got 4 more of those things incoming. Gilraen temporarily drops our first fallen hero, but it'll be getting back up soon enough. And here come the rest of the fallen heroes. One steps up, meeting Roderick and Rondis on the center line. The others appear to be heading towards our north line. Roderick quickly trims off half of a fallen hero's health. Oh, there we go. Rondis drops our second fallen hero. That was quick. We've got one fallen hero back on his feet already. The Nazzul are advancing. And our archers are up. They continue firing into the ranks of the undead. Fox drops a Wiederganger, then kills a Nazzul as well, before putting another arrow through a second Nazzul's chest. Daigot is engaged by one of the Wiedergangers. Henry starts moving up to help fend off the advancing zombies. Potato takes a moment to scan his potential targets. Putting an arrow through a Nazzul's shoulder. Roderick lays into the freshly reanimated fallen hero, but he can't land any hits. Janos holds position. And Reinhard fends off one of the advancing fallen heroes. Gilraen moves up to support Roderick and Rondis, plunging his dagger into a fallen hero's side, and Rondis puts it down once more. That permanently kills our first fallen hero. I got readies his great axe as he wades into the zombies. He decapitates the first zombie in his path, but he's too exhausted to get off another swing. Reinhard continues fending off fallen heroes, channeling them towards our center line. Janos lays into another fallen hero, trimming off 2/3 of his health. Nicely done. And I think the rest of our men will hold their positions, moving into round 6. The Nazzul start moving up. There are some corpses being devoured. Bunny is up. She starts firing into the zombies once more. She manages to drop one Wiederganger, then switches off to her second quiver. Vlad holds off for now. We seem to have the fallen heroes under control. Henry readies his dagger and lays into another reanimated fallen hero, almost putting it down. We've got more Wiedergangers slowly advancing on our line. One just engaged Gilraen. Fox is up. He'll have to swap off to a second quiver now. And he'll continue firing into the horde. He drops a chainmail-clad Wiederganger, but then becomes too exhausted to continue firing. Potato swaps off to a second quiver as well, and is also faced with exhaustion. That's going to become a recurring problem here. Mark puts an arrow through a Nazzul's arm, swaps off to a second quiver, and stops to take a breather. Roderick moves up to join Gilraen on the front lines. He readies his greatsword, but he's too exhausted to swing it at the moment. I got readies his dagger, then permanently kills the fallen hero next to him. Rondis hops the line and lays into another fallen hero. Reinhard readies his dagger, laying into yet another fallen hero on our line. Gilraen is tempted to move forward, wading into the thick of the undead, but he'll hold off for now and take a quick breather. Janos continues lashing into another fallen hero, almost but not quite finishing it off. We've got too many heroes on the line, so Vlad will finally start lashing out at them. He takes a chunk off one of the hero's armor. Since Roderick is going to need to recover as well, we'll have him swap off to a shield real quick. We'll have I Got do that as well. And moving into round 7. The Nazzul continue cleaning the corpses off the battlefield. Vlad lashes out at another fallen hero, tearing off a third of its armor. Sergeant Baggin swaps back off to the company banner, tears off half a Wiederganger's armor. Bunny continues firing into the horde. She takes off a Nazzul's ear with her first shot, then plants a second arrow into another Nazzul's leg. Gilraen lashes into the Nazzul in front of him, landing 2 decent hits. Potato puts an arrow through a Nazzul's neck, breaking its morale. Fox takes a moment to recover his breath. Roderick takes a moment to recover his breath as well. Mark recovers. Rondis recovers. Pretty much everyone's recovering at this point. We might dole out a few hits, but it's best if we get our fatigue under control before we continue fighting. Moving into round 8. There's another corpse devoured and another medium Nazzul on the field. Our archers continue firing into the horde. Mark puts down one of the medium Nazzul, then puts a second arrow through another Nazzul's chest, but the wounded Nazzul immediately falls back and heals by devouring its fallen kin. Roderick tears through the Wiederganger ranks with his greatsword. Vlad continues trimming away at another one of the fallen heroes, shredding the last of its armor. I got his up, so he'll once again ready his great... Actually, he might... No, he readies his great axe and slices open the arm of a Nazzul. Bunny scouts out her potential targets, then opts to continue firing into the thick of the zombies. Potato drops 2 targets, 1 Nazzul and 1 Wiederganger. Henry shreds through half a Wiederganger's health. Gilraen cuts down another Wiederganger with his spear. Reinhard continues laying into a badly damaged fallen hero. Rondis continues to trim away at one as well, before cutting down a Wiederganger with a great swing. Janos finally drops one of the fallen heroes on our north line, and almost drops a second as well. Roderick moves up to engage another foe. And I think we're moving into round 9 here. One of the fallen heroes shambles back to its feet. One of the Nazzul menaces Bunny. And Fox quickly puts 2 arrows through its chest. takes a minor hit from a Wiederganger. Vlad impales one of the fallen heroes, finally dropping it. And Mark is up. He takes aim, putting a couple of arrows into the remaining Wiederganger. Roderick crushes a medium Nazzul, then puts his greatsword through the face of the massive Nazzul towering over him. Decapitates another Wiederganger, then turns around and slices through the Wiederganger behind him. Henry readies his dagger. Then cuts down the Wiederganger to his left, before landing another hit on the Wiederganger to his right. Bunny readies her long axe, but can't land the hit. Reinhard finally moves up, engaging one of the last fallen heroes. Gilraen sees that the archers are in peril, moves back to support Bunny. Rondis readies his legendary dagger, continues whittling away at one of the last fallen heroes. Then takes a light hit in return. Janos continues trimming away at one of the fallen heroes as well, but finally starts becoming exhausted. Vlad moves up, preparing for next round. Potato's too exhausted to fire off another shot, and round 10. We've got a couple of reanimated Wiedergangers, and one more fallen hero lurches back onto its feet. Fox finally drops the Noxerr that's menacing Bunny, then puts another arrow through a Wiederganger. The massive Noxerr devours another fallen corpse, then moves up to engage Roderick and Igot. Vlad tears into the fallen hero that just reanimated right in front of him. Igot takes a minor hit. Potato finally decides to take a breather. Mark takes careful aim and drops a Wiederganger, then puts a second arrow into the towering Noxerr. Bunny swaps back off to her bow. Then moves up to fire an arrow into the massive Noxerr as well. Roderick tears into the Noxerr, shearing off one of its ears. Kazarin moves up to engage the Noxerr as well, finally slaying it with a deft swipe of his dagger. Henry tears down one of the Wiedergangers, but he's too exhausted to get off another attack. Igot crushes another Wiederganger. Reinhard puts his dagger through a fallen hero's spine, dropping it once more. Oof. Rondis is starting to take a beating down there. He takes a few quick swipes at his foe, then readies his shield. Janos hacks away at another fallen hero, but he's still pretty exhausted. We're definitely on the home stretch of this battle. It just depends on whether we can kill them faster than they reanimate. Round 11. Okay, we only had one Wiederganger get back up this time. Potato starts putting arrows into one of the fallen heroes. Vlad shuffles his position, readies his pike, then quickly drops the badly damaged hero. Fox drops another Wiederganger with a well-placed shot, then moves up, but finding that he's finally out of arrows, he readies his long axe. Igot takes another very minor hit. Bunny moves up, drops another Wiederganger. Roderick hops the line, takes a swipe at the last Wiederganger, but can't land the hit. Roderick and Janos just deflected a great axe swing with their shields. Henry shreds through the chainmail of the last Wiederganger. Kazarin starts moving up to attack the final... Oh, he drops the final fallen hero. Nicely done. Rondis starts moving down to help with the final zombie. The rest of our guys hold position, though. It's going to take one more round to finish this fight, so we need to be ready for any other undead that might get back up. Moving into round 12, this should be the final round. Okay, we've got one fallen hero and one Wiederganger back on their feet, but that's fine. We were more or less expecting that. Potato fires a couple of quick shots into a Wiederganger. Rondis takes a minor hit. Vlad tears into the reanimated fallen hero. Fox shreds through one of the remaining Wiedergangers, and Bunny quickly drops it with another arrow. Roderick moves up, cuts down the last Wiederganger with his greatsword. And Mark drops the last fallen hero with a well-placed arrow. Good work, everyone. I got just hit level 11, congratulations. And MVP goes to Fox with a whopping 7 kills. And the loot's not bad. Ancient gold coins, a signet ring, and a few items of note. We've got a military cleaver here, we've got a single fighting axe. We didn't get any of the great axes, which is unfortunate, but did at least pull several decayed variants of great helms and top-tier armor. Those will make good substitutes until we can finally get the real thing. At any rate, we've officially pushed well past my normal 30-minute mark, so we'll go ahead and wrap the episode up here, and next time we'll continue on to Weidemark. Hopefully we can finally finish this escort mission. Hey, RetconRaider here. Well, it didn't make for the most exciting battle, but today did mark the first time the Raiders faced off against a group of 24 enemies at once. Even though they were outnumbered 2-1, our men cut through the undead with relative ease, and walked away with a decent amount of slightly used gear. Given that we're over 100 days into the campaign at this point, we're likely to start seeing more and more fights like this one, where the Raiders will be massively outnumbered. I guess we're just lucky that the first time it happened it was against relatively simple opponents. Who knows what we'll be facing the next time around. I'll have to spend a bit of time between episodes reviewing the current stamina levels of our men, to see if we can actually put some of this new armor to use. While decayed plate and decayed scale armor provide a tremendous amount of protection, they're also very heavy, so I'm not actually sure how many of our men can handle wearing it just yet. Still, considering it's a good 3,000 gold worth of armor, I can't really complain. Next time we should finally be getting back to Weidemark. That will net us a pretty hefty payday, and hopefully it will finally net us an alliance with House Ravenholt as well. While it's certainly fun to take on the occasional noble contract, I'm eager to have the Raiders move on to a new goal. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens next time. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.